Today the topic is the Battle of HARRA. The Battle of HARRA is a battle fought at Al-Harra in 683 after Hijrah, then lying to the northeast of Medina.
The battle was fought against the armies of Yazeed ibn Muawiyah and Abdullah ibn Zubair and his allies, the people of Medina, and several notable Sahabas, many of whom were killed in the battle.
It is the second most infamous battle during the reign of Yazeed ibn Muawiyah, who was the second Umayyad Caliph. Now, who was Yazeed?
Yazeed ibn Muawiyah ibn Abu Sufyan, commonly known as Yazeed I, was the second Caliph of the Umayyad Caliphate and ruled for 3 years from 680 after Hijri until his death in 683 after Hijri. He died at the age of 38 and ruled only for 3 years. During his rule, 3 major disasters happened.
The house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was attacked and damaged. The holy Masjid-e sallallahu alaihi wasallam was attacked,
and the martyrdom of Ahlul Bayt and making prisoners to Ahlul Bayt al-Islam, aka Karbala.
So he attacked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's progeny. During the Caliphate of Yazeed, Muslims suffered a great deal of setbacks.
In 682 after Hijri, Yazeed restored Uqba ibn Nafi as governor of North Africa. Uqba won battles against the Berbers and Byzantines. From there, Uqba marched on thousands of miles westward towards Tangier, where he reached the Atlantic coast, and then marched eastwards through Atlas Mountains with a cavalry of about 300 horsemen. He proceeded towards Biskra, where he was ambushed by a Berber force under Qaisala. Uqba and all his men died fighting. The Berbers launched an attack and drove the Muslims from North Africa for a period. This was a major setback for the Muslims. Because of this, they lost supremacy at sea and had to abandon the islands of Rhodes and Crete.
When Yazeed saw the head of Imam Hussain Alaihis after the battle of Karbala, he said that he has taken the revenge of his forefathers from the battle of Badr, because in the battle of Badr, from the side of enemies of Islam, Utbah, Yazeed's grandmom's father, Sheba, Yazeed's grandmom's uncle, and Walid was Yazeed's grandmom's brother. And from the side of Islam, it was Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's side, Hamza alayhi Imam Hussain alayhi's grandfather's uncle, Ubaidah, Imam Hussain alayhi's grandfather's cousin, and Imam Ali alayhi was Imam Hussain alayhi's father.
Yazeed by force implemented namaz and wine and was mubah, and marriage allowed with father's wife, meaning the second mother. And he denied usul-e-din.
Imam Azam Abu Hanifa said, if someone will call him kafir, I will never stop him, but myself I don't will call kafir. But he was indeed dog of hell, fasiq, fajr, and lanat is only got kafir. So if you are Hanafi, don't call him kafir, but must believe that he was fasiq, fajr, and jahannami.
After the martyrdom of Imam Hussain ibn Ali Alaihis at the Battle of Karbala in 680 after Hijri, there was another revolt of Yazeed, Ubaidullah ibn Zubair, who stood up against Yazeed after the Battle of Karbala.
Now, who was Ubaidullah ibn Zubair? His time period starts from 624 to 692 after Hijrah. He was an Arab Sahabi whose father was Zubair ibn al-Awwam and whose mother was Asma bint Abu Bakr, daughter of the first Caliph Abu Bakr. He was the nephew of Aisha, his aunt, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's third wife. Abu Qahafa was his forefather and Abu Bakr was his grandfather. And Hazrat Safiya was grandmother, who was Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's paternal aunt, Pupo. He was a member of Bani Asad tribe.
He was the hero of the Battle of Fitna, which was fought in 647 after Hijri against the Exarch Gregory of Byzantine Rome in Africa. He stood up against Yazeed and eventually consolidated his power by sending a governor to Kufa. Soon Ibn Zubair established his power in Iraq, southern Arabia, and in the greater part of Syria and parts of Egypt. Ibn Zubair benefited greatly from the widespread dissatisfaction among the populace with the Umayyad rule. After the Battle of HARRA, he became the Umayyad Caliph. After Yazeed's death, there was a breakout of civil war, but soon the Umayyad civil war was ended, and Zubair lost Egypt and whatever he had of Syria to Marwan. This, coupled with the Kharjites rebellion in Iraq, reduced his domain to only the Hijaz.
Ibn Zubair was finally defeated by Abdul Malik, who sent Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf to reunite the Islamic Empire. Hajjaj defeated and killed Abdullah ibn Zubair on the battlefield in 692, beheading him and crucifying his body, re-establishing Umayyad control over the Islamic Empire. Abdullah ibn Zubair revolted and stood against Yazeed, and he later launched an insurgency in the Hijaz region, the heartland of Islam where Makkah and Medina are located.
The people of Medina were not quick to join Abdullah ibn Zubair's revolt. They first sent their missionaries to speak with Yazeed ibn Muawiyah, but returned disfranchised with his approach to the problems of the region, his general policies and governing style. When the missionaries returned, they held a council with the other Medinites of the status and decided to expel the Umayyad governor of Medina,
as well as his aide Marwan ibn Hakam. Other Umayyad supporters were expelled along with them. Now there is a battle of HARRA in 683 after Hijrah. Yazeed sent an army of 10,000 Syrians against Medina in 683 under General Muslim bin Uqba al-Murri. Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, who later played a major role in the politics of Umayyad Khalifa, and he also killed Abdullah bin Zubair, was also in the battlefield.
For these 10,000 Yazidi Syrian army to Medina, and Yazeed had totally gave them a free hand to do whatever they wanted. They killed 1,200 Ashab-e Rasul and 1,700
real daughters of Ashab-e Rasul got raped by them.
And most of them had babies which were called the children of HARRA.
The army of Yazeed confronted the people of Medina within a mile from Medina at a place called HARRA in the command of Abdullah ibn Hanzala. A fierce battle took place. The people of Medina, who could not defend themselves, took refuge in the tomb sanctuary of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. The Syrian Yazidi army entered Medina. They broke the sanctity of that holy place and shed the blood of the people, so much so that the holy mosque Masjid-e was filled with blood, which even reached the holy prophet's grave. The horses impure the masjid by passing urine and dung. Among the persons who killed were 700 people who were famous for piety and nobility.
And the others who were massacred consisted of 10,000 innocent men, women, and children. The Syrian Yazidi commander left free the army to loot and rape. The shameless Syrian Yazidi army began to plunder and rape. Thousands of girls and women got pregnant, and those newborns were later called the children of HARRA. It is narrated that the Yazidi army even committed rape in Masjid-e.
Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, a Madinite Sahaba, also fought against the Umayyad army in this battle. In various records, he is said to have died in 683, 684 or 693 after Hijrah. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri is one of the narrators of hadith most frequently quoted by Sunni Muslims. By one account, he has 1,170 narrations, making him the 7th most prolific companion in the translation of hadith. In Tarikh al-Khulafa, Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti published from Holy Makkah that Yazid's army dragged Hazrat Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, who was blind at that time. They grabbed his beard and slapped him on his face. According to Sayyid bin Musaib, that for 3 consecutive days there was no azan in Masjid-e, nor there was a prayer or jamaat. Medina never saw such a worse time before. Yazid's army declared that Medina was mubah for them.
Muslim ibn Uqba then proceeded to Makkah, and on the way he died. Hasim bin Numair took over the command of the force. This Hasim bin Numair is the same person who pierced the liver of Hazrat Ali Akbar alayhi salam in the battle of Karbala. Ubaidullah ibn Zubair made preparations, and he was staying in the Haram and considered himself to be safe there. The rioter, after losing ground in Medina, came and gathered in Makkah. Hasim bin Numair attacked the Kaaba with a machine that threw rocks with a fire that damaged the Kaaba and destroyed the walls, and set fire in the coverings of the Kaaba. The
Kharijites also came to Makkah. The confrontation started on 27th Muharram at 683 after Hijrah and lasted about 35 days. Muslim bin Uqba al-Murri was henceforth known as Musrif, meaning he who exceeds all bounds of propriety. Medina was recaptured and Makkah was also besieged. During the siege, the holy Kaaba was damaged. The siege ended when Yazeed died suddenly in 683 after Hijrah, and these are the 2 references.